This guy is a machine. All he does is work out and pick winners. Talk about fit. You should see him with his shirt off. Really, I did. Serious sight of beef.
Enjoy your daughter's birthday. Come on.
What do you mean? You should check him out. I know you want to.
Walter, get out of your head. It's a bad neighborhood.
Hello friends, it's been a while for the recap video, but yes, your eyes do not deceive you. I am here for a recap video. It also was promised to a viewer on the channel who missed the stream. Trying to get the recaps back up and running again. I've just been a lazy fuck. UFC Atlanta for a fight night. Actually, a couple things. It was a bit weird, actually. It was almost like the Twilight Zone. But overall, good card. Good card. The timing of the card was fucking horrible. That shit, it was longer than a pay-per-view. It started later than a pay-per-view. Ended later than a pay-per-view. And it was a fucking fight night. In the continental U.S. That can't happen. That's fucking unacceptable, actually. Aside from that, fights are pretty good all the way through. There was 4 bizarro fights back to back to back to back, but we'll get to those when we get to those. If you enjoyed the little clip that was at the intro of this video, that is from the 2005 film 2 for the Money. Look that up, 2 for the Money, 2005. Anyways, moving on. UFC Atlanta, starting off with the first fight of the night. Vanessa Demopoulos versus Jamie Lynn Horth. Jamie Lynn Horth, don't get it twisted. Jamie Lynn Horth is fucking dog shit. It's just Vanessa Demopoulos is that bad, and she's small. That's the other thing. It's not only that she's just as bad as Jamie Lynn Horth. They're pretty much on the same level. It's just that Vanessa is just, like, noticeably smaller. Looked like absolute shit in that fight. It's a shame. If you're making Jamie Lynn Horth look good, I don't know what to say to you. I don't know what to say to you. The only good thing that comes from this is that Jamie Lynn Horth's odds will ideally be juiced on her next fight, and I can pick up another juicy little underdog on her. Vanessa Demopoulos fucking tragically earned that plus 450 price tag. Moving on. I picked Vanessa. I actually thought Vanessa was going to smoke Jamie Lynn Horth because Jamie Lynn Horth is dog shit. But no. I'll eat my words on that one. Start off the card tweaky. I was a little scared, but then we did all right. Second fight of the night, Phil Rowe versus Ange Loosa. Now, I had called Phil Rowe by second round KO TKO. He did get that KO TKO. He just got it in the third, man. Ange Loosa, I was telling people, he's a wrestle fucker, not just a wrestle fucker, meaning he's just going to try to grapple and grind you out. He's low-key trash, but he is physical. Man actually made massive improvements in that fight. Ange Loosa came out swinging, striking, kicking, punching, and he actually looked pretty fucking good. When shit started getting scary, and I think Phil Rowe didn't expect that and was actually taken a little bit off guard and out of rhythm for most of the fight because of it. There was a moment, I want to say, I don't know if it was in the second round or the first round actually, but Phil Rowe landed actually a nice little combo ending with like a strong, I think, like right hand on Ange Loosa, just like a little 3-piece combo. And it got a reaction out of Ange Loosa, and then he immediately shot a fucking takedown on Phil Rowe and got him down and held him down, did his thing. But Phil Rowe, man, it was looking fucking grim for Phil Rowe. Even though I picked the man, I was saying dude's been he's in bad form right now. I'm expecting him to turn it around, which ultimately he did, but it was spooky. Man did get that TKO finish at the end with a very, very extended combination. A lot of pressure on Ange Loosa. Once he started landing on Ange Loosa, he didn't let up, and that was what was needed. He had to chase him down. Great finish for Phil Rowe. Moving on. And Phil Rowe, also a little fun fact, maintains a 100% finish rate, I think, actually, at least in the UFC. I think he's finished everyone he's fought, and he has been finished by everyone he's fought in the UFC. I believe so. I might be mistaken about that. Anyways, moving on. Phil Rowe won. I picked Phil Rowe. Almost a perfect pick. Two-thirds perfect. Two-thirds correct. Ricky Simón versus Cameron Smotherman. Man, I had picked Ricky Simón. I was feeling fairly confident in him, too, because Ricky, even though Ricky's been on a bad run, the dudes he's been fighting are low-key monsters. They're low-key fucking monsters, and it's only like, you know, it gets around. It gets around. And as well, Ricky had kind of even turned that around. Man smoked Javid Basharat. I don't think anyone was thinking that was going to happen. He fucking, if I remember correctly, flatlined him, actually, on some real crazy shit. But man got it done. Cameron Smotherman is young. I actually always kind of doubted if he was UFC caliber. Man did come off the Contender Series, but still, it was just a weird vibe. Cameron Smotherman can definitely win fights. He can definitely finish fights. I just don't know if he can win and finish fights in the UFC like that against other UFC caliber opponents like a Ricky Simon. Like, that was really the tough thing. There was a little bit towards the end of the fight, I want to say in the third round, where Cameron Smotherman did start to open up with the hands, was landing some shots, but Ricky was always in control pretty much from start to finish. Moving on. The first real spooky hours fight of the night. Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa, my Peruvian brother Jose Ochoa. Man, I picked Jose Ochoa. I actually thought he was going to get it done by decision. He got it done by KO TKO. He unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because I fuck with Cody Durden, but he fucked up Cody Durden. He fucked up Cody Durden bad. Man was piecing him up. Cody was putting in his own work too. He was putting in his own work too. It was actually a very competitive fight. But then Jose Ochoa just fucking took it up a notch at the end and really violated. This was actually a good little streak of finishes that we got. But then it started to get a little bizarre. Ricky Simon obviously didn't end in a finish, but the Phil Rowe finish was pretty good. Jose Ochoa finish was tasty. Followed up by Malcolm Wellmaker versus Chris Matinho. Actually, I'll talk a little bit more about Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa. I was scared about the Cody Durden and Jose Ochoa shit, especially because Cody Durden, if you were in the stream, the Smoky Hours Fight Companion that's on every time there's a UFC event, every Saturday, I was talking about Cody Durden is honestly disrespected. People think that he's dog shit. He's really not dog shitty. Even after this loss, he's really not dog shitty. You know, man could get finished, but he's not dog shitty. If he used the wrestling more, it might have been a completely different fight against Jose Ochoa. Cody did use the wrestling, but he came out striking because Cody can't strike. He just gets fucking caught. Like a lot of Codys in the UFC. They can strike, they just also get caught. Moving on. Malcolm Wellmaker versus Chris Matinho. I thought that Malcolm Wellmaker was going to win. I didn't know if he was going to get a finish. Actually, no. I thought he was going to get a finish. I just thought Malcolm Wellmaker was going to get a round 3 KO TKO because Chris Matinho, tough as a motherfucker, but his body actually gives out this time. His body definitely gave out this time, talking about Chris Matinho. It was just in the first round. Malcolm Wellmaker caught him with, I believe it was a right hook perfectly, just on the cheekbone. It didn't even look like it was completely flush at first, almost like a glancing blow. If you watch the replay, obviously, it's more than fucking flush. Man snapped his head. Chris Matinho went face forward onto the canvas, and that was all she wrote. Beautiful finish for Malcolm Wellmaker. Man is on not only a win streak, but a finishing streak. In the UFC. Done it to some decent dudes as well. Chris Matinho, not the best among those decent dudes, but he is in there. And it's kind of sad for Chris Matinho, actually. I'm not sure if he took this fight on short notice again. Many of you may remember, I always say this is many of you may remember him as the dude who gets set. He was brought in to be sacrificed to Sean O'Malley. That's like his introduction, you know. Many of you will remember him, blah, blah, blah. Is that? But I think that he actually got into the UFC this second time around on his own merit. Meaning, obviously, you always get in on your own merit somewhat. But what I mean by that is, man was putting together a 4 or 5 finish streak outside of the UFC. The opponents, obviously, are of relative quality. But that is something, right? That is something. I thought we were going to see a little bit more of the toughness. Not to say we would see a little bit more of the toughness, because Malcolm Wellmaker hit him hard as a motherfucker, and Chris Matinho went out this time. That's just how that one goes. Good finish for Malcolm Wellmaker. I don't know if we'll see Chris Matinho again. Maybe we'll see him one more time, just for the one more. Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee. Spooky hours. I thought Michael Chiesa was going to win. I actually thought Michael Chiesa was going to get a submission in round number 2. He did not, but he did win. Court McGee actually put up a okay fight, but Michael Chiesa kind of was just leading the dance like the whole time. That was really it. It was pretty simple with that one. There were some moments of danger. Also looked like Court McGee was maybe going to put together a combination or a couple combos at one point, but nothing ever came of it. That was a little bit of a lull in the action. And actually, Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee was kind of the first of the 4 fights that are a little bit, not wonky, but they brought the night back down a little bit. For Michael Chiesa, I'm a little bit fried, actually. I've been hitting the runs again consistently, and now, it may not look like it, but actually, my new baseline for runs is like 6.5, 7 miles. That's like a normal run for me, honestly, now. It's crazy. It's crazy to fucking think about that. When less than a year ago, I couldn't run a mile, like, without stopping, I should say. I couldn't run half a mile without stopping. But I digress. Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee, that was the first of the 4 fights to kind of bring the energy down. Not because there was tweaky shit in it inherently. It was just a lower energy fight. And if you are wondering, there's no point to even skip and try to read these notes, as these notes were for the picks beforehand, blind picks. Blind picks meaning I basically sat down, made the picks, and then I recorded the video immediately after. And I went a lot of instinct, but I digress. A lot of ands, a lot of ums. Moving on. The second of the 4 tweaky fights, Paul Craig versus Adolfo Bellato. And someone else echoed this statement about the 4 fights being tweaky. Paul Craig versus Adolfo Bellato. This fight wasn't bad while it was fucking going on. It just had a weird-ass ending that bled into... Actually, it didn't bleed into the next one. But it bled into the fight after that. But back to Paul Craig versus Adolfo Bellato. I had Adolfo Bellato. I actually thought Adolfo Bellato was going to win in somewhat decisive fashion via round 1 KO TKO or disqualification. Why? Adolfo Bellato is a black belt himself, I'm pretty sure. He's a competent grappler. Maybe not as much of a specialist as Paul Craig. But he is a way better striker, and he has a way better chin. Like, even if he's kind of chinny now. Like, you know, he should at least, right? Like, the only problem is, like, Paul Craig isn't as hittable as Adolfo Bellato, and Adolfo Bellato is very fucking hittable, and it kind of was shown a little bit. Paul Craig was getting touched and getting put in trouble, but it was actually pretty, like, not back and forth, but it was a competitive fight until, I want to say this happened in the second round. Or it might have actually been the first. This might have legitimately happened in the first round as well. Paul Craig goes down. I forget what he goes down for. I don't remember if he got hit or if he, like, kind of just, like, it was like a takedown attempt that just ended up with Paul Craig on the ground. But Adolfo Bellato was not on the ground. That's what's important here. Adolfo comes over. I'm instantly screaming into the stream, to the chat, like, yo, beware the up kick. Beware the up kick. Watch out for the fucking up kick. Because Paul Craig, he has his feet on the air. Like, man's ass is up, tootin' and bootin', ready to fucking kick a guy in the head from the ground. Adolfo Bellato's half retarded, so he just, like, immediately, he tries to get kicked in the head. He wants to be kicked in the head subconsciously. And the first true up kick misses. The second one, though, actually, I got a little bit ahead of myself. After the first head kick whizzes past, Adolfo Bellato drops to a knee in, not the guard, but kind of on top of Paul Craig, right? I say that to make the point that Adolfo Bellato, in that moment, is a grounded opponent, and Paul Craig then hit him with another up kick while he was still technically a grounded opponent. Which brings me to more tweaky shit. I wanted this to be a super quick recap. This is probably going to be one of the longest recaps of it, because fucking Adolfo Bellato, actually, I'm looking at that guy different now. Adolfo gets kicked. If you watch on the replay, when you watch it in real time, it also looked weird. Like, it looked like Adolfo was okay, and then he got, like, knocked out. What I mean by that is, in slow-mo, Adolfo gets kicked. He moves with the force. Literally, the force of the kick pushes him back, right? He's falling back. He looks at the ref, extends his arms. Please watch this if you haven't seen it. extends his arms, like, to say, like, what? You're not going to do anything? Like, he didn't just violate the rules? You know, like, no call. Whenever you watch sports and there's no call, that's what he did. He was like, what? Like, what? He was looking at the ref like, I was looking over here before, but he was like, and then he just, like, stopped, and he, like, let himself go, like, limp. And I say he let himself go limp on purpose because I honestly think the motherfucker flopped and he tried to get a DQ win. I was refraining from saying that on the stream because I was like, you know, he did also get up kick to the head. But then Rodolfo, and it was actually kind of scary because Rodolfo started fucking spazzing, tweaking out after that. Like, he would be, like, kind of, like, unconscious, right? Like, breathing. And then you just start, like, spasming. He would start fucking spasming. The ref came over. He put the fucking ref in De La Riva. He put the ref in fucking DLX guard, for Christ's sake. Talking about Rodolfo Bellato. Man starts interlacing his legs, posts up. Like, I'm like, bro, what? Are you about to sweep this guy? Fuck is going on here? And he's like, wait, what happened? What happened? For, like, 2 minutes straight. And then they showed, that was before they showed those slow-mo replays that I'm talking about, though. After they showed those slow-mo replays, I honestly don't know what the fuck should have happened with this fight. It got declared a no contest. I do think that was correct in the sense that, I don't know, if Rodolfo fucking sold it, if he flopped at all, that should be the last time that we see him in the UFC, to be frank. But we have a dude who many people say has done that coming up in Cody Brundage. We'll get there when we get there. Fight was declared a no contest. That was it. Moving on. Alonzo Menafield versus Omar Sy. Alonzo Menafield plus 500 dog on the night, and I fucking called him. I knew he was winning. Omar Sy is 11-0, and he's from France. 11-0 from France, and has a minus 1,000 price tag. Guaranteed loss. Guaranteed to fucking lose. When you see two of those three things that I just said, you could say the two of those three things are he's 11-0, he has a fucking at least a minus 1,000 or stronger price tag, he's gonna lose. He's fucked. Like, obviously that's not a rule. They're not gonna lose every single time. But my main point, the odds were simply incorrect. The odds were simply fucking incorrect. They were also incorrect on the next one coming up too. And I was saying that in the fucking chat, in the stream. You got to be in the stream if you're a degenerate. We made some money. We bet. I always say my bets in the beginning. Where was I? Train of thought ran off a little bit. Alonzo Menafield versus Omar Sy. Omar Sy was expected to smoke Alonzo Menafield. He went out there like he thought he was going to smoke him in his mind. Then Alonzo touched him. And he realized, holy shit, if I'm not careful, the next thing I'm going to do is wake up. Talking about Omar Sy. That's probably what Omar Sy thought to himself. If I'm not careful around this motherfucker, Alonzo Menafield, I'm going to wake up. I'm just going to be waking up in the hospital. And it almost happened. Alonzo dug deep. Omar Sy still thought he won with some bum-ass shit. A lot of people were saying top control. I don't know about top control. There was like one takedown for Omar Sy, but there was, I want to say in round 2, Omar Sy shot for a takedown for like 3.5 minutes, but he didn't get it. Like, that shouldn't be in his favor, you know? Like, we got to draw the line somewhere. I'm glad Alonzo won. Alonzo needed to win that fight. Fuck Omar Sy. Move on. We move on. Alonzo Menafield, big win. Big fucking win. I called him winning by first round KO TKO because I thought he would honestly touch Omar and put him out. He did win by decision. Even juicier if you bet that by decision. That was crazy. That would have been crazy. Cody Brundage versus Mansour Abdul Malik. Yes, you dumb motherfucker. I know it's Malik. I say Malik. And in fact, we'll be calling him Malik for a long time because I'm not going to say he's a rat. He didn't make the decision, right? It's the UFC that they want to keep selling this motherfucker, Mansour, to us. Cody Brundage versus Mansour Abdul Malik. I was telling people again, if you think that Mansour Abdul Malik deserves minus 800, much less minus 1650, you're out of your fucking mind, bro. You're out of your fucking mind. Mansour's price tag was indeed 1650, at least on DraftKings. I just knew Cody Brundage all around is good enough. Not only is his like skill set good enough, but he has the experience that Mansoor does not fucking have. Man has been fighting dudes in the UFC. Like, you know, like I literally wrote maybe he rats it out under Cody Brundage in my notes, as in maybe he rats out a fucking decision victory. He is a bit of an odd duck, not only in style but also in a bit of a more nebulous sense. What I really believe is that weird things happen, queer things happen when Cody Brundage fights. Either to him or his opponent, to the both of them, strange things are afoot when Cody Brundage fights. That was definitely the case. Cody definitely got the shit end of the stick this time. Because it's actually a somewhat back and forth fight. Mansoor is winning, but it is a competitive fight, right? And this is in the second round, I want to say. In the beginning of the second round, like 1 minute in, not even, off rip, second round starts, Cody gets dropped. He gets dropped bad by Mansoor. Mansoor pounces, tries to finish him. Cody survives. Cody moves to the other side of the octagon, to the other side of the cage. Mansoor follows. Cody's backed up against the cage, taking a shot here and there, also avoiding some, also giving some back. Mansoor dives in for a clinch like this. Mansoor's a little taller, so he dives with his head, like leading with his head, and he went like forward and down into the fucking head of Cody Brundage. Straight into him, straight headbutted him. That's not to say or accuse Mansoor of doing it intentionally. Intentionally meaning to harm Cody Brundage, specifically through the use of the headbutting technique. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying it fucking happened, though. And that is the point, right? Eye pokes, headbutts, groin strikes. Most of the time they're accidental, but they fucking happen. That's why you take a break. They took a break. Actually, no, they didn't take a break. Cody gets hit in the head from the headbutt. He goes down. He covers up. Mansoor, unfazed. Stands above him, pounds him out. Ref calls it as a normal TKO finish. They replay it. They replay it so we can all clearly see. Announcers are saying, oh shit, like it's a, you know, headbutt, 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 headbutt. But for whatever fucking weirdo fucking reason, right? The ultimate decision, or the final resolution, I should say, not to confuse anyone. The final resolution to this debacle was they were going to judge the first round of the fight and the second round, like a minute and fucking 15 seconds, a minute and a half of however much, whatever of the second round took place, they're going to judge that. They're going to judge the first round and the second round up to the point of its cessation. And don't get me wrong, they have done that before. That is in the rules, and they've talked about doing that before. They've done that before with other fights. I always thought that it was based on like a time limit. Like, I don't know. I thought it was based on a time limit. Like, you know, if a certain amount of time in the fight passes, if like 2 rounds pass, if a round and a half passes, then you have to go to like the decision. But like, I don't fucking understand how Paul Craig, and if you understand and if you know for a fact, and you can tell me in the comments, please, man, I'm begging you. Paul Craig versus Adolfo Bellato, if that's a fucking no contest, how the fuck is Cody Brundage versus Mansoor Abdul Malik not a fucking no contest? How? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever, man. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I was upset at Mansoor because Mansoor's standing up there. They're reading out the official decision. He's like, how is that a decision? How is that not a TKO? How is that not a KO? Brother, you fucking headbutted the dude, first off. Like, that's first off, bro. There's no TKO bullshit, nothing. Like, before I go crazy on that fight, I'll just call it there. Because literally, it was considered a unanimous decision victory for Mansoor Abdul Malik. And I just don't understand why. I don't understand why. You want to know the sickest shit? On Tapology, I picked Mansoor to win by decision because, like I said, Cody Brundage isn't just dog shit. Mansoor Abdul Malik has been fighting bums and struggling with them in the UFC. There's a chance that it at least goes the distance. Like, And so that pick went through. I promise you no one else fucking picked Mensur Abdul Malik by decision. But that shit went through. Mensur's trash, man. Mensur's fucking dog shit. He'll get his. He'll get his. Don't worry about that. He will get his. But that was a win for Mensur Abdul Malik. Moving on. Cody Garbrandt versus Raoni Barcelos. I actually picked Cody Garbrandt to win, but Cody... There was a moment where Cody got hurt early on, and I feel like he just never recovered from it. He never recovered from it and was always a step behind. He still has a little bit of speed and power in his hands when he's hurt, but when Cody gets hurt, you can tell because the defense goes out the window even more. Like, Cody does have some head movement. Pretty good head movement, actually. But then when he gets hit, you can see him go stiff. He stops reacting to shots that are coming. He starts watching. He just starts literally getting hit straight up by shots. You can tell that is exactly what started happening. Raoni Barcelos, also an extremely fucking skilled grappler. Man used all of his skill set to get a win over Cody Garbrandt, man. It was a little sad because I really wanted Cody to win. I did think that Raoni was going to win regardless, but I really wanted Cody to win. Raoni Barcelos, though, on his other hand, and to that man's credit, man is putting together a fine little streak of wins over some notable, decent opponents. Moving on. Featured fight of the night. Edmen Shahbazyan versus Andre Petroski. Did that end in KO TKO? I called that fight ending in KO TKO. I just actually don't remember if that ended in a KO TKO victory for Edmen. I low-key think it was. I digress. Edmen Shahbazyan versus Andre Petroski. I was scared. I picked on Edmen Shahbazyan, like I said, to win by KO TKO DQ in round number 1. However, Andre Petroski is a wrestle fucker in his own right, and a skilled one at that. And he's very strong, very conditioned, very athletic. Does have a suspect chin, one of the most suspect chins in the whole fucking in combat sports history. Not even in combat sports history. Dude has one of the most sus chins in human history. If you know, you know. I'll leave it at that. I always rehash the Jacob Malkoun shit, but if you know, you know. Edmen Shahbazyan, nicknamed the Golden Boy, and for a little bit he was actually of the UFC. Young buck. Man's had ups and downs, a bit of a fall from grace, but he's climbing back actually slowly but surely, especially with this win. Very good work from Edmen on the feet, and the takedown defense from Edmen Shahbazyan was very, very, very impressive. That was the number one concerning factor for me, was that Andre Petroski would essentially be able to take down Edmen if he could get a grip on him. But he could not. Great work by Edmen Shahbazyan. Moving on. Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. Again, Miranda actually did way better than I thought she was going to. I thought Rose was going to win this fight kind of handily, but Miranda did do good. Miranda actually tried fucking striking crazy. I think that was the main mistake, to try to outstrike Rose Namajunas instead of outgrapple her. But that was Miranda's game plan. She just got pieced by Rose at range, and that was it. That was GG's. That was when the bet hit, and we moved on. Big bets hit there. And that was it. I did throw another little bet with some of the coin that I did win into the next fight, into the main event of Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley, on Joaquin Buckley. But we all know how that went, actually. Kamaru Usman turns back the fucking clock with a vintage performance almost. Absolutely dog walks Joaquin Buckley, who actually, thank God, man got some comeuppance. Dude, Joaquin Buckley's one of those dudes who was like, not comeuppance as in like for his really previous actions, rather comeuppance for actions during the fight. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Joaquin Buckley getting hit with a 1-2 and then sticking his tongue out and laughing at Kamaru. Like, yeah, it was funny. It was funny in the second round. It made me smile in the third round, and then after that, when Kamaru was just straight dog walking your ass, it was fucking hilarious. In fact, it wasn't even funny anymore. It was hilarious. But it was very bizarre. Joaquin Buckley stopped smiling and laughing in the fifth round. I wonder why. I really wonder why. Enough shit talk and hate on Joaquin Buckley because the dude is super nice. Kamaru Usman just fucking controlled him, outstruck that ass, just dog walked him, man. Straight up dog walked him. It was actually really fucking spooky to see. He made Joaquin look like a bum. And Joaquin is not a bum. That's the thing. Joaquin is not a bum. Joaquin is not a bum. Good night of fights. Fantastic fucking stream. Of course, all in part to you guys. But you can expect some pig videos coming out relatively soon. For, oh shit, I guess it's fucking, is it UFC 317 coming up next week? Topuria versus Oliveira, or is that the week after that? Either way, we got fights coming for the next couple weeks in a row. So it is summer is like, well, summer's actually going through a little bit. Not a little bit. I'm not trying to scare people. I hate when motherfuckers are like, summer's halfway over. It's not even July. Like, I'll smack you. I'll smack your dumb ass. But thank you guys for watching. 2 for the Money. Look that up. 2 for the Money 2005. Al Pacino. Matthew McConaughey. God, who's the chick? I forgot the chick's name. But Al Pacino's wife in that movie. I think that's it. I wanted this to be a short recap video. It's probably around fucking half an hour. I can tell. But hopefully it's under 20. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, respect. Subscribe if you want to see more content. More content is on the way. Big things this summer. Big things this summer, man. Like the video if you like the video. Dislike the video if you dislike the video. Or if you dislike my recapping of the events. If I misremembered some things, please leave it down in the comments. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on any of the fights. If you made some money, if you hit a bet, let me know the bet. If you're wondering about the bet that hit, ask me about the bet that hit in the comments. I believe that's it. Thanks for watching. Much love. Big kiss.